Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, agents. I'm Matty Carl, and happy 4th of July to you out there, and all my American watchers, and happy Day of Defeat to all my British chaps watching this. If you tuned in for yesterday's news break, you'll see that this one isn't totally different, but I was alerted to some misinformation that I was giving you, and I wanted to go back and remake this, so I am here with recap for you so that it will clear everything up, and I'm glad I did because I got some fun stuff in store. I did a little bit more research into some of the stuff I discussed yesterday, and we'll be bringing you more information on that. Before we begin, I have a few shout outs to give. First is a huge shout out to one of my good friends, Darkfather28, who has been helping me do some day-to-day stuff with Gun Brothers Gaming and helping me stream and all of that stuff. He made a short intro video about himself, and I'm going to go ahead and have that up later. Secondly, if you aren't watching and you aren't subbed to 21 Kiloton, pick up the rock that you've been under and go watch his stuff. The dude has the best humor and delivers the news with some surprisingly hilarious takes on the division. So go watch his stuff. Finally, long-term subscriber Haas Delgado, huge shout out to him because he has been kicking it with the Gun Brothers fam for the last couple of months, and you know, he's been pretty awesome. And I do have to say, he's been helping me get some videos up and doing some streams and stuff like that. So huge thanks to those guys. Let's do some house cleaning while we're here. Console PTS starts this week at the beginning of PTS Week 2, which should have a ton of new content sorted out, including global events which aren't live on the PC test server until Week 2. There will be a ton of bugs reported and being worked on, so you are welcome, console testers, from all of us who are testing on the PC right now. We ran a first pass over the game. That way your Week 2 console first week will be a flawless one, and while many of the people stuck to the mantra of just playing the meta and not really testing, they're really using it as kind of an early access preview to 1.7. A dedicated group of us were testing the new builds and the gear sets and banging away on those. So that's what she said. For those of you who are new to the PTS test environment, let me go over a few things for you. First off, there is no reason to run the meta build and ignore the others. Yes, we know which gear sets are OP, and running it isn't going to do anything for your stats. You don't get any stats for it. There's no participation ribbons, and it really doesn't matter what build you run, because the most important thing to remember is that you are here to test, and that, you know, we want to iron out all the bugs, make sure there's no exploits or anything, and that your gear, achievements, and anything else you do on the PTS does not matter in the game. You don't get to keep gear, you don't get any stats, and you don't get to do anything else. So if you went on the PTS and picked up your 4th of July outfit, you need to go on the regular game and pick that up. But the PTS is a one-way server. All your stuff gets transferred from the original game over to the PTS, and it will never transfer back to the PTS to the production live game. It will never happen, and every time this comes around, we see 10 threads about how you should keep the gear because all the hard work that you put into the PTS. The answer will always be no, never, nine, nada, or whatever your language is. That will be the answer to the question, do I get to keep my gear in the PTS? The answer will always be no. You need to go back and work for that gear. So, and it will take you a long time to get to where you are in the PTS, because they give you most of what you need. It will take you a long time to get back to that spot in the regular game. So don't think it's just going to automatically happen. It's going to be a grind, and you're going to need to get that stuff. So, you know, get your builds, make sure you're running them, test them out, report the bugs, and go from there. The first item on our agenda is talking about the gear set stat increase. So they didn't increase the gear score, which they probably should have, because really increasing the stats on the classified gear really means that you're increasing the gear score. But they didn't increase the gear score, and they did say in the state of the game, you know, while they mentioned that the classified gear would drop slightly higher during the state of the game, it has been confirmed, and it's all subject to change, that it is about 100 points, 130 points higher of an increase over the previous 256. So while your 256 gear drops at a minimum of 205 for the off stats rating, that new classified gear will drop at 334. The main stat, however, for 256 was somewhere around 1270 max, and have now been increased to what I have confirmed on one gear score is at least a maximum of 1384, which I assume will max out at 1390 possibly. So I've been seeing classified gear drop at the main stat stat as low as 1264. I have a one piece of classified gear that dropped at 1264, so it could drop lower than the max of the 256 gear, but most likely you're going to get higher. So through RNG, it is still strong with these pieces, and unless you are really lucky with them, you may see, you know, a high 1300 stat roll on most of the items, but you will see some lower end stuff. So what does this translate to in PvP? Well, I have confirmed that in the Dark Zone, it will stay unchanged, giving people running classified gear sets a huge advantage in the DZ, but good news for you Last Stand PvP dwellers, as the new classified gear will downgrade to match the average 256 gear. But you will get stuck, you know, you will still get the perks from those gear sets. So if you have a 5 or 6, you will still get those perks, you just won't get the full 1390 max gear stat. So from what I have seen, the major minor attributes have not changed a whole lot, making the main difference in the new classified gear set is the main stat, the off stats, and the 5 and 6 piece gear set bonuses. The major attribute and the minor attributes really haven't changed all that much, so those don't have as big of an effect on those gear sets. With 1.7 comes the exciting but not exciting locker room, where you can change your character appearance finally, and I assume that they did this because of the implementation of face masks. So let me go ahead. You just walk down into the terminal, make a quick right, head up the stairs, make a quick left, and into this locker room where you can see the sink, and you can go ahead and walk in there and change your appearance, and you can no longer be fugly wearing those glasses. You can actually take the glasses off. It feels like they're no longer bulletproof. You could see your eyes. It's amazing. So, you know, yes, you heard that correctly. And while it is not a stat item, the face masks are not a stat item, it should go a long way to making your character a lot more customizable, or at least look cooler. I am unsure how it will play in with the inclusion of the face mask ventilators that are already in the game. Maybe it's just a mask that goes over the eyes, making you look like the Lone Ranger or the Hamburger. Face mask will not show up in the PTS at all during the time that we are in there, unless they go ahead and just magically sprinkle them in somehow. But Hamish went ahead and confirmed that we will not be seeing face masks in the PTS during this time, but they will be possibly available day one. So on our 1.7 PTS tour, we are heading over to the Global Operations Center now. Once you walk into the Global Operations Center, you'll notice your homeboy here without a name, and you can click on him and take a look at the mods, missions, commendations, kills, and performance for the global events. Since none of this is live on the PTS, there's not really anything here to show you except for what's available. Next is the global event cash vendor. Let's go ahead and call him Mitch. And Mitch ain't got shit to sell, since there isn't anything live. So he ain't got nothing. It's going to be blank. So finally, we got the global event leaderboard, where your e-penis can be inflated as your ego. This board here tells us that while in the state of the game, we only saw global events for missions, there will be a global events for survival, last stand, underground, dark zone, high value targets, and incursions as well. Those should add some life into what many of you deem stale content, and even though it's not new content, it might make it feel new enough to at least come back and try for a little while. Over in the corner, I assume this area will be loading into a train, very similar to the underground or something like that, that'll take you to the global events area instead of having to walk away like some post-apocalyptic wanderer. Finally, the premium vendor will be stocking up with new caches and cipher keys. This is a great new addition because it gives players the option to never have to purchase premium content. This was the cry. Everybody wants the content, but nobody wants to pay for it. So this gives you an opportunity to pay or go out and get premium content for free. So you go ahead, you can get and open these caches by purchasing a key. So there's the option, you can purchase the key, or you can simply get 10 key fragments that will give you 1 key to open the cache. And there are 3 vanity items within that. The keys are scattered throughout Manhattan. There's currently no way to know how to get the keys, if they're a drop off a boss or something like that, but we'll bring you more information on how to find them once we know. Anyways, that is my time. I hope you enjoyed our news break for the July 4th, and we'll have a couple of different videos coming out in the next couple of days detailing all the cool stuff from 1.7 that we can offer you. I will try and stock a few videos for you as well, that way you can keep getting content while I'm on my work trip. As a side note, we are instituting a weekend subscriber stream right here on YouTube, which all subscribers are invited to participate in. We will have some games like Jackbox Party Pack, which allows all subs to join in and play with your cell phone, PC, or tablet. and you enjoy along right alongside me and some of your other favorite players. It's a good time, and we've had a lot of fun. Finally, if you are a console and you're waiting for a PTS invite, they announced that 10,000 invites will be available per console, and they would be going out this weekend all the way up until the start of week 1 or week 2 PTS, and the requirement was that you logged into the division within the last month. That's just what I heard. That's all the information I have as to how, the selection process went. And I have heard that they are currently being emailed right now. So if you didn't get one, maybe you will get one, but you can download the PTS from the store right now, but you do need the invite to actually get into the PTS. So good luck to all you console players out there. If you like this video, go ahead and drop a like on it. That helps us get our content out there and allows us to provide you with the ability to continue making and getting more content from us. And subscribe to keep up to date on all the content you care about from the Division. For all of us here at the Division News Break, I'm Mounty Curl, and we'll see you in the PTS booth. Agent out.